Hello there and welcome back to my channel, or if you are new here then welcome. Now today was kind of a challenging video for me to film because I love blush so very much. It's my favorite part of makeup aside from eyeshadow, and I have the most of them. I do have over 200 blushes, which I shouldn't. I need to really cut back on that. But I thought because I have so many, it would be fun to kind of challenge myself a little bit and just see if I could go through my entire collection and only pick out 10 blushes. If I could only keep 10, which ones would I keep? Now, one of the rules was no blush palettes. Just single blushes, because I feel like a blush palette would be cheating a little bit since there's multiple options. So just single blushes. So I went through my entire collection and I have all 10 blushes in this little makeup bag that looks like a pillowcase. That it comes from Amazon. If it's still available, I'll link it. I just thought it was kind of cute. It looks like a pillowcase. I mean, look at it. But I have all 10 blushes in here. I have a mix of both high-end and drugstore, and I will have timestamps for you in case you just want to hear about the drugstore versus the high-end, or vice versa, whichever you want to watch. And I will also be including swatches while I'm going along and talking about these, so why don't we go ahead and get started. Alright, I'm going to zoom you in just a little bit so when I'm showing you these I can show them a little bit up closer. Now the first one, I just have this little mini. This is the Rare Beauty Soft Pinch Liquid Blush, and this one is in the shade Bliss. And this one is described as a matte nude pink. And I feel like this is about the only liquid blush in her line that you don't have to be really careful when you're applying it. You can over apply and not have to worry about it being too intense, but I believe this is one of the lightest shades, if not the lightest in her line, and it's my favorite for that reason. All of her blushes are really pretty, but I just find that this one, if you are looking at them and you have more of a fair complexion, then I think this would be a really perfect option for you because it's not as intimidating as some of the other shades she has, nor is it as pigmented as those. So I feel like you can get away with a more amount in this one. But this is the only liquid or cream, I'm just going to categorize those together. This is the only one that I picked with this. I do love liquid and cream blushes, but I find myself gravitating more towards powders than I do liquids, but this is definitely one that I wanted to include because I love this one a lot and it's really just stunning. Okay, the next blush is the one that I'm wearing in today's video. This is the RMS Beauty Redimension Hydra Powder Blush, and this one is in the shade Maiden's Blush. And this one is described as a soft cinnamon sparked with sweet pink. I'm just reading the descriptions from like online. This blush is one that I feel it pairs with every single look you could possibly think of. Whether you're wearing a simple look like I am today, a more neutral look, or whether you're wearing a colorful look and maybe you don't know what blush to pair it with, I feel like this is the perfect option for that. It's just one of those everyday shades that is just perfect. It just has this really beautiful soft sheen to it. It's just really beautiful shade all together. I have another one that I'll be talking about in a little bit that's a drugstore version that's kind of a similar shade to this one, so stay tuned for that if you were interested in this one but want maybe more of an affordable option. Now that one is not a dupe. It's just similar in tone. And the next blush is from Bare Minerals. This is one of my most top favorite blushes in this whole lineup. And this is the Bare Minerals Bronzer in the shade Kiss of Pink, which is described as a warm pink. Oh, I love this blush so much. This is probably, dare I say, my most favorite blush in my whole collection. I just love this one. I have used it so much. You can see how dirty the cap is on the inside from where I just swirl my brush and then tap off the excess in there. I love this blush so very much. This one is going to definitely be an always repurchase blush for me. It's just the most perfect tone for my skin tone. Now, the next blush, I understand that this brand is pretty polarizing. Some people really love the brand and then some people don't want to support the brand. I understand that, but I do really love this blush, and this is about the only one in my collection, I think, that really pulls this kind of really cool tone pink, and that is the Kylie Cosmetics Pressed Blush Powder in the shade Winter Kissed. I love this really pretty soft pink shade. Now, I know there's other brands that have a shade like this, but this is the only one in my collection that I have that pulls this type of shade. I just really love that it's so it's so different from the rest of my blushes because I usually gravitate more towards a warm blush. But this one is very cool toned. It's just really soft baby pink. I really love this one. It goes really beautifully on the skin. Even though it's more of a matte blush, I find that it just looks really beautiful on the skin. It doesn't look too drying, and it's just the perfect shade. I really love a shade like this. I don't know if the Persona Bubble might be a shade like this. I'm not sure. I don't have that one, but if I got that one and it was similar to this, well, I just have to compare the formulas, but I really do enjoy this one. It's such a pretty shade. I think this, I have a few of her other blushes, but I think this is the prettiest blush in her whole entire blush line. So that is all of the higher end blushes. So all the rest of them are actually from the drugstore, and the first one is from Milani. This is their baked powder blush in the shade Dolce Pink. Now this is the old packaging. The new packaging where the gold is has black, and it doesn't have this thing where you can lift it up. The new one doesn't have that. But this shade is the most pretty pinky peachy shade, and it gives the most gorgeous sheen to the skin. This is a classic for a reason. I also really like Luminoso, but when it comes down to the two of them, I really love this one. I think this one is just so pretty, and I tend to use this one a little bit more than I do that one. You're definitely going to see a theme of either their peaches or peachy pinks or pinks. Those are the blushes I love the most. That's one of the reasons why I really want to go back through my collection and really cut my collection, if I can at least cut it in half. I don't need those really deeper blush shades or like more of like plums or reds or those darker shades, because they're just not blushes that I gravitate towards. I think they're beautiful, but they're just not what I prefer. Now the next blush is from Burt's Bees. This is their, well, they say blush with bamboo in the shade Shy Pink. There again, this really pretty, just soft, delicate pink shade. I mean, this is just lovely. Now, it might look, I don't know how it's going to look on camera, but it is different from the Kylie blush. This one is pink, but the Kylie one is even more cool toned than this shade. I find that this one is definitely more of a warmer pink shade. Not so much peachy, but just a warmth, like a really warm pink shade, but it's really beautiful. This is, there again, I don't know if I have all the blushes that they have, but I have 2 or 3 others. This is definitely my favorite. This is a beautiful shade. And I don't really hear a lot of people talking about this one. I mean, there might be, I just don't hear it personally, but this is a really good one. And the next one is the Essence Pure Nude Baked Blush in the shade Bold Heart. Oh my gosh, this blush, it is so pigmented, so, I don't know how to describe it other than it's a powder. It's not a cream, but it just feels like a creamy powder. It's so smooth. And I know a lot of people compare it to the Hourglass blushes. Like, I don't know if they're calling them dupes, but similar. I can see that. I mean, they're very similar in the way they're so smoothing, the way they glide across your skin, just the way they're baked like this. This is a lovely shade, and this is this is a very warm pinky shade. So there again, all these blushes I know have a similarity to them, but these are the blushes that I really love and enjoy. And these are the ones that I really need to be purchasing more so than any other kind of shade. Now the next 2 I'm going to talk about, I don't know if they're still available or not. I know one time ColourPop brought them back. I'm not sure if they're still available to purchase. If they are, I will have them listed and linked for you below. Then this is the ColourPop Pressed Powder Blush in Kiss and Tell. This was in one of their little heart shape. This was one of the lightest options that they offered, and to me this is like a neutral peach color. It's another one of those blushes that I feel just goes with every eye look you could possibly think of, or any lip combo, like maybe you're wearing a red lip that day. I think this blush would still go really pretty with that as well, because it does have that warmth to it, but it's really a very pretty neutral tone. Just one of my favorites. If it's not still available, they should make this permanent. If they don't want to keep it in the Heart Compact, at least have it in maybe their blush singles that they keep in their permanent line, because this is lovely. The same thing with this next one. This one is in the shade My Type, which is also in their little heart-shaped packaging. This on me is like a neutral pink. It kind of leans both warm and cool a little bit on my skin tone, so I just think this is a really perfect neutral pink. If you maybe have some neutrals on the eyes and you want just a little pop of pink on the cheeks, I think this is a perfect blush to do so with. One of my favorites for sure. And there again, even though these are more matte, they don't look drying on my skin. They just look really smooth, really flattering, and these are just, they're nice. I'd never purchased any other of their blushes. I have these two and then the red shade, which is pretty but not my favorite. But I wish I had purchased the rest of them. Do I need them? No. But I do really love the heart-shaped compact. It's just so cute. Packaging really plays a part in whether or not I want something. It really does. And the next blush, I really dislike this packaging so much. This is the CoverGirl Classic Color, and this one is in the shade Soft Mink. I don't like this packaging. I need to take it out and maybe put it in another... There we go, kind of, because it wants to reflect, show you like that. I need to really put this in another palette or something because I don't like the packaging on this. It's really cheaply made and it wants to crack, and even the blush is loose in here, so I really need to change that. But anyway, this is another one of those really neutral shades that goes with any eye look. This is the one that I would compare to the RMS blush. They are not dupes, but the color. If you like that really perfect everyday neutral shade that will go with anything, then I think you would really love this one if you don't want to pay RMS beauty prices. But I know sometimes those RMS blushes do go on sale, but I don't think they're listed on Sephora anymore. So I don't know if there'll ever be sales on the RMS beauty website, but they're worth every penny in my opinion if you are looking to splurge. But if not, then I think you can get a very similar tone with this one, and I will swatch them both for you side by side so you can see what I mean. I'm hoping I can show you. This is the CoverGirl and this is the RMS. So I'm hoping you can see. It's hard because when I do it like that, the CoverGirl one has more of a sheen. So I'm hoping I can hold it like that and you can see the tones. They're very, very similar. So if you were looking at the RMS but didn't want to pay the price, try the CoverGirl. Not exact dupes, but really close in tone that you probably wouldn't know a difference on the cheeks. So I did want to mention that, just in case you're looking to save a little bit of money. But there you have all 10 blushes. These are the blushes that I know that I love the most out of all the blushes I own. It was still hard to do this because I'm definitely a blush person. I like having a lot of them. I like having a variety, but at the end of the day, I know that there are certain shades I tend to gravitate more towards. That would be peaches, pinks, or peachy pinks. Or even some of these more natural, more of these neutral shades. These are the types of shades that I love, and they're the ones that if I buy blushes in the future, they're the types of shades that I need to have. So I like that I filmed this video because it really shows me what I really love the most and what I need to gravitate towards. So a blush declutter may very well be in the future. We'll see how it goes. But thank you so very much for watching. I hope that you did enjoy today's video, and if you did, I hope that you will please consider leaving a like, a comment, or subscribing. It truly means the world to me when you do, and I hope to see you in my next video.